Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing this story by Narada Muni. The most important thing here is the psychological aspect also. How the dynamics work between living entities, the male and female. So that aspect Narada Muni is telling. But along with that, he's also trying to make us understand that how our intelligence is getting polluted. So both the things are explained here so nicely. And we were discussing yesterday a few points. How the Puranjana, he is the intelligence. So how the intelligence work and how it is taking us from one, that is what is making us to act in a certain way. So intelligence is like fire element. So action happens because of fire element. Manas is like water element. It is emotional. It is just flows. And when it comes to buddhi, it is fire. And ego is like earth, and ether is like air. So these are the elements that are connected to the four parts of our subtle body. And here we are seeing that how basically the woman's features are explained, and how she is beautifully dressed and how it is attracting the mind of a man. So that is explained by Prabhupada also. And now here Puranjana became attracted by the eyebrows and smiling face of the beautiful woman. This attraction is that our identification with our intelligence. So we are so much happy with our intelligence, or at least we use our intelligence for fulfilling our desires. So we can understand in that way also. We are all so much into just I'll share the yeah. Here we see that Puranjana, the hero, became attracted by the eyebrows and smiling face of the very beautiful girl and was immediately pierced with the arrow of her lusty desires. When she smiled shyly, she looked very beautiful to Puranjana, who, although a hero, could not refrain from addressing her. So, this is in general, this is actually what happens, how the illusory energy works. And Prabhupada explains that there are two types of heroes. One is external, what we see in this world. There are many heroes, successful people. But there is hero who has controlled his mind and senses. So Prabhupada is giving from Prema Vivarta that when a living entity want to enjoy material world, he is immediately victimized by material energy. So this is he a living entity is not forced to come into material world. He makes his own choice, being attracted by beautiful women. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Every living entity has a freedom to be attracted by material energy or to stand as a hero and resist that attraction. It is simply a question of it is simply a question of living entities being attracted or not being attracted. There is no question of force, and this is what we are supposed to do. We should resist ourselves. Now, what happens? This is what the psychology of how does a man react. As soon as we see a living energy, material energy, we are all reacting like that. We are seeing some sense object and we are trying to enjoy the sense object. So here Puranjana is asking, my dear lotus side, kindly explain to me where you are coming from, who are you, and whose daughter you are. You appear very chaste. What is the purpose of your coming here? What are you trying to do? Explain all these things to me. Actually, Prabhupada writes a very nice purport. He says that this enquiry is very important. Atato Brahma Jignasa. At presently, people have Bhayankar Jignasa, dangerous inquiries. It should be spiritual inquiries. So we are inquiring of how to enjoy in this world. Instead of enjoying instead of inquiring how to get out of this world, people ask how to adjust and enjoy in this world. So that's why things are becoming very troublesome for people. No, we have to know that our enjoyment is some other place. Then we will not be and so much unhappy. Like I was 2 days back, I was traveling in a metro train, and some young students were also traveling. So here we have Dasara vacation in South. It's a big festival, and they were going home. So they came to me and asked, "You are from ISKCON. How long you are there, and how you feel all these years? What was your experience?" Then I told them, "See, you are going home." And because they are doing their 11th and 12th they are in, and they get yearly only 2 times to go home. And I said, just before knowing, like no, 3 4 days before your vacation started, you didn't even go, you are in your hostel only, but you are experiencing some pleasure 2 3 days before only, right? They said yes. And now also you are experiencing some pleasure. I said yes, but we are little worried also that we should get a bus so that we will go. But there is a pleasure in the heart. I said, when you practice spiritual path also, you experience that pleasure because you are going to your eternal home, spiritual world. So that is what is a little glimpse you are experiencing, I told. And it is much, much, much more if you are going because the soul is traveling to home. This here we are just mind and body is traveling to our home where mother and father are there, home is there. But when we are traveling to spiritual world, which is our real home, we'll be really very happy. This is experience. So immediately understood. He said, "Oh, you made my day. Thank you very much," and he left. So it was just a few minutes of interaction, 10 minutes. So the point is that we are all want to inquire in a right direction and go in right direction. Even the just understanding. That's why Krishna is telling Susukham kartum avyayam. Rajavidya Rajakuhyam. The Sambandha Jnana itself make us very happy. And that is the reason we have to read regularly, try to understand more and more, so that the Sambandha Jnana makes us very happy. The path itself. And here also Prabhupada is telling Atato Brahma Jignasa. Try to know, gain that knowledge. And in human form of life, one should put many questions to himself and to his intelligence. In various forms of lower animals cannot do it. They are only busy in eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. Dharmo hitesha adhiko vishesha dharma hina pashuhi samana. So this jignasa is not possible for them. So living it is always always connected with a certain amount of intelligence. But in human form of life, the living entity must inquire about his spiritual identity. This is real human intelligence. It is said that one who is simply conscious of body is no better than an animal. And Prabhupada is making this. And if we are making right inquiry, immediately Lord facilitates that we go in right direction. And here the conclusion is that unless a living entity is inquisitive about self-realization, he is nothing but an animal. That is the conclusion Prabhupada is giving. And he says, Kayete anupata yeta ekadasha mahabata etava lalana subru ko ayam te hihi puru pura saraha. My dear lotus side, Who are those 11 strong bodyguards with you, and who are those 10 specific servants? Who are those women following the 10 servants, and who is the snake that is preceding you? Now, here some aspects are added to this so that to make us understand okay, this is your intelligence. Otherwise, it is simple psychology also, how a man reacts when he comes in contact with sense objects. So that is very clearly given. But apart from that, this is also mentioned how a person is, how our intelligence is having this senses. So mind are 10 strong servants of mind are five working senses, five knowledge gathering senses, and then there is 11 one becomes then the mind, this is the 11th one, and there are hundreds of women under the jurisdiction of the senses are addressed here as lalana. The mind works under the intelligence, and under the mind are 10 senses, and another 10 senses are innumerable desires to be fulfilled. So all the women are compared to desires because they give pleasure to the living entity. And here depends a vital force. So this is very important. All these things are dependent on the vital force, which is the snake. We have discussed this also. This is called pranavayu, and how it supplies the energy for the whole, makes it the whole body conscious, the pranavayu. And the medium it goes is because of the nadis. So that is how we have seen the nadis transfer the energies from the prana, which is connecting from the soul. So the energy ultimately comes from the soul, soul to the prana vayu, prana through nadis to different parts of the body. So it is the vital force. Actually, the living entity known as Puranjana is embraced by so much paraphernalia. All this paraphernalia simply constitute different sources of anxiety, but one who is surrendered unto the Supreme Lord and who leaves all business, he to him is free from some anxiety. So more we have, more there is anxiety, and if it is a more complicated thing, it's more anxiety. And this body is such a complicated thing, one part little bit here and there, and it's so difficult. If somebody is doctors, they know little part here and there, and it can make such a great danger. That's why Prabhupada is writing here. The living no is Puranjana is embraced by so much paraphernalia. All this paraphernalia simply constitutes different sources of anxiety. More we have, more anxiety. Lesser we have, we will be free. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, who has taken to materialistic way of life, which is never permanent but always temporary, who take to shelter of Supreme Lord and leave aside all so-called responsibilities of life. Vanam gatoit harimashrayat. And then he gives another, like this is the just a talk of a man who is lusty and who is looking at a woman. This is how he will talk. He says, oh, you are exactly like goddess of fortune or wife of Lord Shiva or goddess of learning, the wife of Brahma. Although you must be one of them. I see that you are loitering in the forest. Indeed, you are silent as a sage. Is that you are searching after your own husband? Whoever your husband may be, simply by understanding that you are so faithful to him, he will come to possess all opulence. I think you must be the goddess of fortune, but I do not see lotus flower in your hand. Therefore, I am asking you where you have thrown that lotus. So, all these things are a general lusty person who behaves. And but there is also another aspect in what Prabhupada says, everyone thinks that his intelligence is perfect. So the praising of this woman is like we appreciating our intelligence, and we already appreciate. We say, oh, what is the appreciation we give for intelligence? We say, I am right. So anybody try to give anything to us, immediately we resist. The resistance is because it is hurting the intelligence. If I am intelligent, and how this person can say, if he is telling something against what I am doing, it means that I am a fool. But how will I accept it? My intelligence is like so beautiful, like goddess of fortune, and it is so beautiful, and all these things. It is goddess of learning, goddess of Uma, and all. So here, Prabhupada writing that everyone thinks that intelligence is perfect. Sometimes one employs his intelligence worshiping Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva, to obtain a beautiful wife. Sometimes when one wants to become a learned of as Brahma, he employs his intelligence in learning goddess of Saraswati. If you want to become opulent, he worship Lakshmi. In this verse, all these inquiries are made by King Puran, a living entity who is bewildered and does not know how to employ his intelligence. Intelligence should be employed in the service of Lord. As soon as one uses his intelligence in this way, the goddess of fortune automatically becomes favorable to him. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, never remains without her husband. Consequently, when worships Vishnu, he automatically obtains the favor of goddess of fortune. And he should not be like Ravana. And Prabhupada writes, Lakshmi is chanchala, restless. In this verse, it is clear that Puranjana is representing our intelligence, uh, which while he is talking with the girl, he not only appreciated the shyness of the girl, but actually became more and more attracted by this shyness. He was actually thinking of becoming her husband and consequently was asking her whether she was thinking of her prospective husband or whether she was married. So this is another thing is that man want to give shelter. If somebody is feeling very shy and at least she looks like shy, he feels that now I can be a man, I can protect. So anytime this tendency is there in man, this Purusha Bhava, that is the cause of his captivation in this material world. Because he thinks I am Purusha, then he need Prakriti. If he thinks I am servant, then he don't need Prakriti. He will just serve. So as long as we have this Purusha Bhava, it is applicable to both men and women. They have Purusha Bhava also. They want their children should be there. There should be some security and all. So there is a Purusha Bhava for women also. They want to control the husband and children. And man want to give shelter. So both have that Purusha Bhava which is holding us to this material world. So this should be very clear. So when you see that somebody is feeling sheltered, then he feels more happy that I have given shelter. So that's why for Kshatriyas and all, why they keep more wives? Because they want to give more shelter. That is there not just for sense gratification, that is for ego satisfaction. That I can give shelter to three wives, three women, four women, and anybody comes to them and asks give shelter, they will give also. So that is the tendency that they have. So here it is seen very nicely explained. The example is given as bhoga icha, desire for enjoyment. One who is attracted by such desires become conditioned in this material world. One who is so not so attracted attains liberation. So here Puranjan is appreciating the beauty of the girl as if she was goddess of fortune. But at the same time, he was careful to understand that the goddess of fortune cannot be enjoyed except for Lord Vishnu. Since he doubted whether the girl uh, was the goddess of fortune, he inquired, what about your follower? Now, Prabhupada writing, the material world is also the goddess of fortune because material energy works under the direction of Lord. Maya Dakshena Prakriti. The material world cannot be enjoyed by any living entity. If one so desires to enjoy it, he immediately becomes a demon. And Ravana wanted to enjoy, but he lost everything. One can, however, enjoy that Maya bestowed upon the living entity by Lord Vishnu. The satisfaction of one's senses and desires means enjoying Maya, not the goddess of fortune. So here the next point is given. It says that, O greatly fortunate one, it appears that you are none of the women I have mentioned, because I see that your feet are touching the ground. But if you are some woman of this planet, you can, like the goddess of fortune, who accompanied by Lord Vishnu, increases the beauty of the Vaikuntha planet, also increases the beauty of this city by associating with me. You should understand that I am a great hero and a very powerful king of this planet. Prabhupada writes very nice point. He says the difference between demoniac mental and devotional mental. Devotees know perfectly well that the goddess of fortune is constant companion of Narayana cannot be enjoyed. This higher sense of understanding is called Krishna consciousness. Nonetheless, everyone wants to become happy by imitating the prosperity of Narayana. In this verse, Purajana states that the girl appeared to be an ordinary woman. However, since she is attracted by her, he requests that she become as happy as goddess of fortune by associating with him. So he is projecting himself that okay, see, I can give protection. So they want to take the position. Thus, he introduces himself as great king with great influence, so that she may accept him as her husband and be happy as goddess of fortune. Nice point, Prabhupada. To desire to enjoy this material world as a subordinate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is godly. So this is allowed actually to enjoy as a subordinate of the Lord. This is the difference between demons and demigods. So when the demigods sometimes come to this planet, they do not touch the ground. Puranjana could understand the girl did not belong to transcendental world or higher realm. So since every woman in this material world want her husband to be very influential, rich and powerful, Puranjana to seduce the girl introduce himself as such personality. So this is the weakness of man and weakness of woman. Both are given here. In the material world, whether one be a man or woman, one want to enjoy. A man want to enjoy a beautiful woman, and a woman want to enjoy a powerful opulent man. Every living entity who possesses such material desires is called Purusha or enjoyer. Specifically, it appears that woman is enjoyed and that the man is the enjoyer, but internally everyone is enjoyer. Consequently, everything in this metal world is called Maya. So Prabhupada is very clear about it. So both want to enjoy. So both are punished by Maya. Certainly, now he's further appreciating her. This is the way to attract. So Bhagavatam gives psychology. Certainly, your glance upon me today have very much agitated my mind. Your smile, which is full of shyness, but at the same time lusty, is agitating the most powerful Cupid within me. Therefore, O beautiful, O most beautiful, I ask you to be merciful upon me. And Prabhupada also knows all these signs very nicely. He writes, everyone has lusty desires within. As soon as one is agitated by the movement of a beautiful woman's eyebrows, the Cupid within immediately throws his arrows at the heart. I was thinking Cupid sends arrows from outside, but Papa is telling it is inside only. So because the lust is inside, so the energy of the Cupid is inside us. It sends the arrows. It immediately agitates the heart. Thus one is quickly conquered by the eyebrows of beautiful women. When one is agitated by lusty desires, his senses are attracted by all kinds of Vishaya, enjoyable things like sound, touch, form, smell, taste. These attractive sense objects oblige one to come under the control of woman. In this way, the conditional life of living entity begins. Conditional life means being under the control of woman. And certainly, the living entity is always at the mercy of a woman or a man, both. The living entity lives in bondage to one another and thus continue this conditional material life, illusioned by Maya. So there is another nice topic. We will take it tomorrow. Thank you all very much. Any questions, comments? Okay, we'll end here. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.